Listen, third straight win. I mean, a big opponent, you know, a big name. Talk to me about how you feel getting the victory tonight.
Victory is always great. I wish I would have done a little bit more in the fight to really secure that thought in people's head that I'm really just kind of working my way towards title contention. But honestly, a win's a win.
Yeah, no question. Were you surprised that you had so much success on the feet, right? Like, we figured if you're winning the fight, it's got to be through wrestling, and you did have some great moments on the feet. Did that surprise you, or did you feel like maybe people underestimate your skills there?
I would definitely say people underestimate my striking. But I honestly, in my head, I didn't really think I'd get that much opportunity to strike. But, you know, sometimes it goes that way. My takedowns weren't really landing, and I'm glad I was able to let my hands go. No
question. So you get to the decision. And the first score is read out 30-27 Watterson. So what's going through your head at that point? I mean, did you think you had done enough to win? But when they read that first score, it's all 3 rounds the other way. What's your thought?
Oh my God, that freaked me out. I was really shocked. You know, like at the very least, I would have thought it might have been like a 29, you know, whatever. But yeah, that definitely freaked me out. But obviously, like they read them pretty fast, so you know, I had about a minute there of like, what's going to happen. I thought I definitely had secured the first round and the third round. So, yeah, just glad it came out my way.
No doubt. And overall, the experience, I mean, this has been a weird training camp for everybody. It's a weird feeling in there in an empty building, right? I mean, what's this experience been like for you?
You know what? Honestly, it definitely wasn't like a traditional fight week. You know, there's usually all the things, the media, the media face-offs, like, just everyone's gathering in one room that kind of gives you like that UFC fight week feeling. And you know, even like the crowd, just all the things that kind of really make it feel like fight week we didn't have. It almost, for me, it felt like I was like, you know, it was like a hard training session at the gym, like, all right, you know, this is gonna be like, gotta have a good one today, like, but yeah, it's a little bit of a surreal feeling, to be honest.
No question. Last thing for me, what now? Another win? I mean, you're on a roll here. Who do you see? Is there a name that you want to see next, or you know, a time that you want to fight? What makes sense for you next?
Yeah, I'd been calling Claudia Gadelha out a while ago for a rematch, and I heard she recently called me out. So I think that's a fight that we both want, and I'd love for that to happen sometime soon.
Carla, right here. Vicente and Bryce Mitchell said they could hear the commentary during the fight, and they kind of used it to their advantage. Mitchell could hear submission reversals, and Luque could hear Rogan calling for a dar. So I'm curious if you heard the commentary and if you used it to your advantage too.
I heard it was such a weird thing, because normally like you hear the crowd, and you kind of might hear it faintly, but like it was total like, you could hear like everything. And I even heard Cormier saying, like, I haven't even watched fight yet, she needs to mix her takedowns and her striking. She's just going for a takedown or just striking. I'm like, okay, mix them in, go for some fakes. Like, I definitely heard it and tried to use it to my advantage, even though unfortunately I wasn't able to secure another takedown. But.
Could you hear her corner too?
Yeah, I did. I kind of like expected to hear a corner, like mindset-wise, because I know their gym's pretty like, from what I've like my experience of hearing them corner, very like whoa, that was amazing, that was beautiful. Like they're you know, they definitely call things out, and I think they do that. I don't know, maybe for like the judges' sake or whatever. But I definitely, I especially with no crowd, I definitely was able to hear her corner. Was it comparable to fighting on Tough with no crowd? I would say it's like it was like a happy medium, because on Tough, we did have a crowd. We had like our whole team, so they were like screaming their hearts out for you, and then you know, you were fighting in the place where you trained every day, so it did feel like more like training. But here it was weird because we were in like the same big cage, the lights, the stadium, but like no crowd, so it was kind of like just somewhere in the middle, it felt like. And then one final one. What did you make of the Jacare news last night after he was pulled after testing positive? I think it was a little bit like, you know, a couple things go through your head. You're like, oh my God, are they going to cancel the card? Like, what's going to, you know, like stressed now. But then, yeah, it was a little bit scary to hear that. But, you know, like the fact that he was asymptomatic and like, you know, wasn't experiencing any like real illness, like, you know, I'm glad that his health is going to be okay and stuff, and that we were all still able to fight. And I think the precautionary measures that the UFC took all week to keep everyone separated enabled them to be able to put on a show like this, because it's like, okay, well, he didn't have contact with anyone else, so we're still good. So I think the UFC did a really good job.